This is the Toyota Proace City. Now I'm really excited to get my hands on this van, not just because it's another van, but because it's the final one that shares the same platform as all the other PSA Group small vans. Now, in case you didn't know, Citroën, Peugeot and Vauxhall, they all have their small vans, and Toyota use the exact same platform. So here it is, the Toyota Proace City. It's a fantastic vehicle that is very durable and almost perfect for tradespeople who drive their vehicles through city environments every day. It's a looker, it's got a great loading bay, it's got a fantastic cabin, and at the Icon trim level, it's absolutely packed with tech. So let's get it cracked open and get going with this Vanarama road test. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to say that I sincerely hope you enjoy this video. And if you do, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified whenever we post new content just like this. And if you are in the market for a brand new van, car or pickup truck, don't forget to head to vanarama.com and check out the deals. Okay, so let's start the review where we always do, at the front of the vehicle. Now, if you've seen any of the other PSA Group platform sharing vans like the Citroën Berlingo, this front end might look a little bit familiar, but Toyota have made sure that when it comes to platform sharing, that they always leave their mark on it, that it looks sort of almost recognizably different from the other vehicles that they platform share with. And you know what? They've done a good job. Right in the center is that great big Toyota badge. It's got some really nice kind of shiny black plastic accents above this chrome trim right here. There's some good tough black plastic down the very bottom of the engine grille, which just adds a little layer of durability. Now, my favorite bit are these headlights. I love how the chrome detailing spills into the headlights just round here and kind of cradles them. It's a really good looking vehicle. Taking a look at the side of the vehicle, you'll notice there's some nice accentations that flow from the front to the back. On the front, you've got some tough, durable plastic, and you've got some more on the side here. Now, these are basically door bumpers, which means that if anyone opens their car door or their van door very close to you, hopefully most of the impact will be taken right here and just give you that extra peace of mind. Along the side of the vehicle, you'll also notice these really nice indentations right here. Now, those are almost crying out for your own branding. It's like a nice little frame. At the Icon trim level on the Toyota Proace City, you get steel wheels. Now, alloy wheels are great, but they're quite easy to scuff up, whereas steel wheels, they're designed to be tough, durable and hard wearing. And again, it's just a nice extra peace of mind to have those mounted on the bottom of the vehicle. One final thing to mention just before we crack this vehicle open and take a look at the cabin is to just point out that there's a side sliding door right here, but on the other side there's another side sliding door, which means you've got two. That means that loading bay is just even more accessible than most others on the market right now. And at the Icon trim level on the Toyota Proace City, you also get a very nice addition, a reverse parking camera, which is really useful to have. On the driver information display in the front there, what happens is a whole sort of panoramic shot of everything behind you appears thanks to that camera, and it's even got one of those cool sonar displays to show you when you're too close or far away from something. Really nice addition. So there we go, that's the outside of the vehicle. Let's crack it open and take a look at the cabin. I've got to say, the interior of the Toyota Proace City is very nice and comfortable. It's a really good space to be in. And the first thing I noticed when I got in was just how much storage there is. I mean, there seems to be a cubby hole or a storage area on almost every surface of the interior. It's quite alarming actually, but in a good way, you know, not alarming in the sense like, you know, you see a rat running across the floor and stuff and you jump onto a chair and scream. It's actually a really pleasant place to be. So first of all, the first thing I noticed, I always like to look up when I get into a van, and I noticed that there's overhead storage up here underneath the very big sun visors, which, you know, are very good at keeping all that sun out your eyes when you're driving. If I take another look at the storage around here, the first thing I notice is the very deep pockets in the doors. Now, they are very generous, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to fit a litre bottle of water in there, no problem. In fact, you'd probably be able to fit one, two, probably three. So that's quite a generous amount of storage. You've got really nice little cup holders to the left and the right. You've got one by the driver, one for the passenger, and you've even got a nice little cup holder or something, little shaped hole down here, which I think could only really fit an espresso cup. Now, between you and me, I know what this little hole is actually for. It's where they mount the traction control selector switch on some of the other trim levels, and in fact on some of the other vehicles that share the same platform as this one. So, you know, the more you know. I'll go through the rest of the storage as I get to it, but I'd like to start where I always do, on the seat. Very comfortable. I've managed to elevate the seat just a little bit because it was a little low for me, so I've now got a really good driving position. It's keeping me, you know, I feel like I'm sitting in an ergonomic office chair, which, you know, is always a nice thing because ergonomic office chairs are just wonderful things to sit on. The steering wheel is in a really, really good position and again is adjustable for rake and reach and height. You can move it to wherever you will feel comfortable. And of course you'll want to do that because the driver information screen right in the center of your dashboard instrumentation right here is very nice and clear and displays all sorts of information, including the speed limit on the road you're driving at. So you know right away whether you're braking or in fact going slower than the speed, or in fact if you're absolutely bang on the money, which you should be, because if you drive faster than the speed limit, you are breaking the law, and that is not right. Okay, so the steering wheel itself has control clusters on the right and on the left. On the left, you've got audio, so you've got your volume up and down. You've also got your menu selector switch, which is a nice kind of roller button. And you've also got voice control, which means you can take advantage of that. You can actually press that button and say, play my, you know, jazz time Spotify playlist, and the machine will absolutely do it for you. It's fantastic. On the other side, you've got your phone controls, and that's about it over on this side. The speed limiter and cruise control settings are actually on a little stalk down here, which again, very convenient, and you're only going to need that when you're going on the motorways. The dashboard instrumentation is really nice and clear. On the right-hand side, you've got your rev counter. On the left-hand side, you've got your speedometer, and you've got your oil temperature gauge, and you've got your diesel indicator gauge up there as well. Now, this is a 1.5 litre diesel engine, so of course that indicator is there showing how much diesel fuel you've got. It also does that really helpful thing that fuel indicators do these days. Right next to the little icon of a petrol pump, or in this case a diesel pump, it shows a little arrow telling you which side the filler cap is on the vehicle, so you won't ever make the mistake of parking on the wrong side of a fuel pump. Really, really nice and handy. Just above all of that, you've got one of my favourite little cubby holes in the whole vehicle. You've got this little secret hatch which just opens up, and there's room in there for plenty of lion bars. I rate it at probably around 15 to 20 lion bars, which I think should be the standard measurement for cubby holes these days. So tracking along from my favourite cubby hole of all time, just behind this big infotainment screen that sits right in the middle of the dashboard is another little cubby hole. Now, you won't get quite as many lion bars in it, but I reckon you could probably get 1, 2, 3, 4, you could probably get about 6 or 7. The 7th one would probably not be very secure and might slide around a bit, but you know, that's the price you pay for filling your cubby holes with lion bars. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, all right? So anyway, the big infotainment screen in the center at the icon trim level is probably the centerpiece of the whole vehicle. It's absolutely fantastic. Really easy to use with nice touch sensitive buttons down the side that you can access all of your settings, like your radio and music settings. There's even some general vehicle settings. You've got satellite navigation capabilities in here as well, as long as you hook up a phone. Now, you can do that in two ways. You can use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which is fantastic to know. You also can hook them up by Bluetooth, or you can use a hardwired connection into this USB socket right down here on the bottom right of the infotainment screen. Really nice addition. You've got a general apps button where you can download all sorts of things. You can even look at the photos on your phone if you are so inclined on this screen right here. There's a general settings feature, and you've also got all of your phone settings up here, again using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay to hook your phone up either through Bluetooth or, as I said, that hardwired connection into a USB socket. Below that, you've got a nice suite of climate controls, including, at the icon trim level, air conditioning. Yes, we love air conditioning in a van. The gear stick itself is nicely mounted, as I said, on this little console that juts out right here. Very nice, easy to hold. It's a good stick. And where have I heard that before? It's probably in a movie. Okay, you've got a nice little cubby hole just behind the gear stick again. Lion bar wise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably about 6 you can sit in there quite nicely. Now, just on the center console, it does stick out a little bit far. Now, it's got everything you need on it, and that's absolutely great, but when you're carrying a third passenger, because the icon trim level gets you a bench seat, when you are carrying that third passenger, there's probably going to be a little bit of awkward knee fondling, a little bit of awkward knee rubbing, just because their legroom is limited just a little bit by this center console. Hey, but it's nice to know that you can carry a third passenger if you want to. Now, this bench seat itself is actually pretty cool. There's two things I want to show you on it. One of them I'm going to have to get out to show you, but this one I don't. So the first thing I want to show you on the bench seat is that if you lift up the middle seat like this, there's some hidden storage underneath with enough room for a laptop to lay flat on the top, and also, more than enough room for a sandwich or any precious items, precious things that you might want to stick in there as well and keep secure. Now, as I said, there's no catch on it. So you just grab and pull, you pull it up, and when you want to let it go, very smoothly falls into place. Really nice and convenient. Now, last thing I wanted to just show you before I get out of the cabin and show you what this other seat can do on the other side of this bench seat is, of course, here is your glove box. Now, it's got this nice little hatch that you pull up and it pops into place. You've got your manual, your locking wheel nuts. It's quite nice and spacious. It goes back. It's got kind of two levels. You go back to one lip, you lift your hand up, it goes all the way back even further. It's actually quite a generous storage space in such a small van. That is the interior of the Toyota Proace City Icon trim level. But there's one thing I want to show you on this other side of the bench seat, so I'm going to have to get out and come round to show you that. Okay, so here I am on the other side, ready to show you the other side of this cool bench seat. Now, load-throughs in small vans are always welcome, but they're the sort of thing you usually find on larger vans, where the Proace City has its own version of it. Pull up this toggle on the side here, and the seat drops down. Now, one thing you'll have noticed is that the back of this seat is completely lined with metal, which means that when you do want to carry those longer items, they're not going to scratch up the upholstery on your seat, which is absolutely superb. I mean, I think this is a really nice addition for any van of this size. And it doesn't stop there for really cool things on this bench seat. Did you know, for instance, that if you pull this toggle and drop this down, you've actually got a full fold out and slide out table for you to do your invoices in or any paperwork you might have to do. That is a very, very smart addition in the front of this vehicle. The loading bay of the Toyota Proace City is actually quite generous for a van of its size. I mean, take it all in. Check out the length, the width between the wheel arches and the height. It's a really nice flexible space. You'll also have noticed that down each side are 3 lashing points, very useful for when you're trying to secure a load in place. The other thing you won't have failed to notice is that the interior of this loading bay is fully ply lined. Now, that is something that you get completely free of charge whenever you lease a vehicle from Vanarama.com, so keep that in mind. So there you go, that's the loading bay of the Toyota Proace City. We've done the looks, we've done the cabin, we've done the loading bay. Let's get this all shut up and on to my favourite part of any review, the Vanarama road test. Now, I like to take the vehicles out onto Ladies Mile, which is a local road, which is basically just a mile-long stretch of country road. And even in the rain, I'm pretty sure the Proace City will have no trouble with it. So what I like to do is wait until the road opens right out, stick it into about 3rd gear and put my foot down to see what acceleration is like and to put the 1.5 litre diesel engine through its paces. So just wait until there's no traffic. As you can see, the road is just opening up and here we go, let's put our foot down. Oh, and there's nice acceleration, nice pickup. There's obviously quite a bit of torque even from the slightly smaller engine. Now, as I said, the engine comes in 2 sizes, 75 PS or 100 PS. And I've got to say, it's perfectly fine for the driving that you'll be doing in a van like this. Easily getting up to 55 miles an hour without breaking a sweat, handling corners very nicely, even with a load in the back. Taking those corners like it ain't no thing. I'm really impressed. I mean, the Toyota Proace City, not only is it incredibly comfortable, but it can also drive really well. I mean, what more do you want from a small van? I mean, you want to know that you can go up from lower to higher speeds easily, as the road dictates. And that's the whole point of a city van. You want to know that when you're driving it around, not only can you get in and out of the back as quickly as you like, but that it can handle going between slow speeds and high speeds, as the road dictates. The Toyota Proace City delivers on that front, definitely. And the great thing about it is that there's absolutely no hiding. Toyota have called it the Proace City because they want it to be an urban vehicle. That's the whole point. That's why it's been designed the way it has. It's comfortable and it's also very ergonomic. Now, one of the things that I hear people talking about is ergonomic fatigue, which is basically little aches and pains that you might start to feel as you've been sitting in the front of a van for a long time. The front of the Proace City, and in fact actually something that all the PSA Group vans that platform share are very good at, is making you feel very comfortable and very secure and making sure that you don't suffer any ergonomic fatigue. The driving height and visibility is also very good in the front of the Proace City. I'm sitting at a very nice height, I can see all the road in front of me, and even on some of these tighter country roads, I'm being able to see round corners that in a car, I just wouldn't be able to. So one of the best features in the icon trim level of the Toyota Proace City is the speed limit display. Now in the middle of my dashboard information display screen down here is a little driver information display screen which shows you all sorts of things like tyre pressures, oil temperature, coolant levels, etc., that kind of stuff. But when you flick it onto the speedo, what it shows you is the actual speed that you're going, and right above it, it shows the road sign for the speed limit. If you're going over the speed limit, it flashes. If you're going on the speed limit, it stays exactly the same. And if you're going under the speed limit, well, you're not breaking the law, so well done. One final mention has to be the smoothness of the gear stick. It's incredibly easy to use. Some vans you get into and you have to really sort of push the gear stick to make sure you're in the right gear. But in the Toyota Proace City, and in fact all of the other PSA Group platform sharing vans, that's never an issue. In Toyota's particular van, obviously they like to make things a little bit different, and on the other PSA Group platform sharers, you sometimes have these weird notches cut into the side of the gear stick. Thankfully, those have been replaced in the front of the Proace City with nice, smooth, beveled edges. So it's really nice and smooth, it feels very good in your hand. So if you like holding a nice, comfortable stick in your hand, you'll be right at home. Just don't do what I did then and try and put it into reverse, because otherwise you will look like a plum. So, how do we finish this one? Well, if you like the looks of all the other PSA Group platform sharing small vans, then there's probably no doubt that you'll actually like the look of this one too. But the thing I like so much about Toyota is that even though they are platform sharing with the Proace City, they've made it look identifiably different. They've made it stand out from the crowd. So if you're looking for a van that has good looks, good running costs, and good performance and flexibility in the loading bay, the Toyota Proace City might just be the van for you.